Every organism has certain habitat needs in order for it to survive. Some are tolerant of a wide variety of conditions, while others are very specific in their requirements. The process in which organisms with favorable traits are more likely to reproduce is called natural selection. Natural selection is one of the ways to account for the millions of species on Earth, and it is the mode of evolution that makes living things adapted to their environments. This mechanism has sculpted body features of organisms over millions of years, which allows them to persist in their specific habitats, and in the end, leave more offspring than their peers. Charles Darwin's brilliant theory that explains how species have changed according to their environment has resolved many questions about how animals' physical features have adapted in order to help them survive. This South African landscape is home to thousands of different animal species. These animals are taking advantage of the lingering cool of the night to carry out their daily activity, before the heat makes all movement almost impossible. The landscape they call their home is a rather rare one. The Albany thicket. Covering only 2.2% of the area of South Africa, this is one of the smallest of all ecological regions. The climate here is unpredictable and is known for its floods or severe droughts. When surface water from the rain is quickly absorbed into the ground by thirsty soils, it leaves dry and arid conditions that forces many of the large animals to migrate elsewhere in search of water. And this is a quest that this elephant family has to undertake. Elephants are the largest land mammal on Earth, and as a result of their size, they require much water. Elephants can only go up to 4 days without drinking, but with their amazing sense of smell, they can find water from 20 kilometers away. With her amazing spatial memory, it is the oldest and most experienced female that will lead the family. Depending on the severity of the drought, the migration may be to a place nearby or far away. A journey that will lead the elephant family through a diverse array of landscapes under the hot African sun with one mission: finding water. There are more than 5,000 mammal species living in every corner on planet Earth. And some have adapted in truly unique ways to their environment. With their towering height and their long necks, these are some of the most iconic animals of Africa. Giraffes. Giraffes need less sleep than any other mammal. They only sleep 4 hours per night, which means that over their entire lifetime, they spent just 4 years asleep. To make up for the lack of sleep, they sometimes stand still and have a series of short naps, while other group members keep aware of predators. This tower of giraffes will spend most of the day walking around searching for food in the wide African landscape. Some of them will split and travel on their own. Only the mother will stay with her offspring, leading her calf into dense bushes, where her young will be better protected from predators. Giraffes are the tallest living land animals on Earth. Their exceptional height allows them to eat leaves and buds from the tops, unreachable for other animals. And there is a delicacy in this landscape, which is the giraffe's favorite snack: the leaves of the acacia tree. These leaves are so nutritious that giraffes consume more than 30 kilograms of the tasty foliage per day. During the course of evolution, however, there has been an arms race between acacia trees and giraffes. The spiky thorns of the acacia trees are as long as 10 centimeters and as sharp as a knife, giving them the name devil thorns. An evolutionary adaptation of many plants that should keep animals away from eating their most precious parts. But these are no problem for the giraffes. Their lengthy eyelashes protect their eyes when pushing their heads into the thorny trees. And with their thick and mobile tongues that are as long as 50 centimeters, they can select and grasp the tastiest leaves they want without any damage. Once the giraffe evolved a tongue that could defeat the thorns, the acacia tree developed something else. As soon as the giraffe starts chewing acacia leaves, the tree produces a chemical called tannin which fills their leaves, and at the same time emits a distress signal into the air, warning other acacia trees up to 50 meters away. This alerts trees nearby, which then start to manufacture tannins themselves and distribute it into their own leaves. Tannin is a compound that tastes terrible to giraffes. In large quantities, tannins can sicken or even kill large herbivores. Giraffes, having evolved with acacias, then found another way to deal with the situation. They only browse on the trees upwind that have not sensed the warning gas released by their neighbors. Giraffes will even walk 100 meters away before feeding on the next acacia. The relationship between the acacia tree and the giraffe is one of the most remarkable examples of an arms race of evolution between herbivores and their plant prey. Undulating plains. Foothills covered with a dense growth of thorny shrubs and trees. It is the unreliable climate of this region that has been the driving force behind the evolution of the Albany thicket, and the large herbivores that have shaped the vegetation. But life is anything but easy where water is limited for extended periods, especially for organisms that can't move. But this is not the only problem. The air is also dry. Strong winds increase the movement of water to the leaves, and the sun's rays turn it into vapor. But surprisingly, these plant communities have remarkable adaptations to maintain growth, even in times of extreme stress. They have evolved small and narrow leaves, thus reducing the surface area exposed to the sun and wind, and in the end, to lose less water. There are plant species, however, that have evolved some of the most amazing adaptations. And these have helped them survive in some of the most foreboding environments on the planet. Cacti. The symbol of endurance and strength. Striking with their unique appearance. 25 million years of evolution have created the ultimate drought survivors. Fleshy pads that look like giant leaves, but are in fact modified branches. Water reservoirs sealed by a waxy coat that take over the photosynthetic tasks. And leaves that have been replaced by spines. But these are much more than just a defense system against predators. Covering almost the entire surface of these cacti, they trap air close to the surface, protecting them from the wind, and they help keep the plant's stored water from escaping. But even with their barricade of spines, cacti are not immune to damage. The elephant family has reached the bushland. And these thirsty animals know exactly where to find a free drink. Elephants are very sensitive to heat. But, unlike many mammals, elephants don't sweat. They can't afford to lose the water. But the elephant's skin is about 50 times as thick as a human's. And they have unique methods to prevent themselves from overheating. As they get older, the skin of an elephant gets thicker and thicker, causing deep cracks. And it's thanks to these millions of microscopic cracks that heat can evaporate. But 40 degrees is too much even for their uniquely adapted skin. Time to search for cover from the burning sun. The African elephant has the largest ears of any animal, which act like giant fans. By flapping them back and forth, this elephant is able to reduce his body temperature by as much as 9 degrees. Yet there is another surprising adaptation that helps elephants to cope with the sweltering heat. Unlike all other mammals, where dense body hair helps them to stay warm, elephants' hair is used to cool off by drawing heat away from the body. And this is the first documented example in nature. There is another animal that has to cope with the same environmental conditions, but has found a way to adapt to them in an entirely different way. The crocodile. These reptiles have evolved some spectacular advantages that has made them one of the most successful predators for over 200 million years. As cold-blooded animals, they are unable to maintain a constant body temperature and are often seen lounging ashore during the day. As they warm, they face the sun. But, like elephants, crocodiles do not have sweat glands. They will often open their mouths, allowing the brain to cool, while the rest of the body is heating. This pond in the middle of this African landscape is home to another animal that also relies on this water source. But for two things that share so much in common, they could not look more different. The hippopotamus has chosen a simple option to avoid the heat of the day. They spend almost 80% of their lives in shallow water to keep hydrated, which gave rise to their name, hippopotamus, an ancient Greek word meaning river horse. The hippopotamus possesses adaptations that make this habit possible. As their eyes, ears, and nostrils are positioned high on their head, they are still able to see, hear, and breathe. After hours submerged, this hippo chooses to emerge from the water and enjoys a quick sunbathe on the bank of his pond. But someone else has taken his spot. The average size crocodile is no match for the 1.5-ton bulk, which is about the same as 2 football teams combined. Not quite a friendly relationship between these neighbors. Both parties are fully aware of what the other is capable of. And with survival being the biggest motivating factor, they will stay out of each other's way. On this day, this mother has brought her family to the pond for a splash. Time to go back into the water for a rest. And for others, it's time to seek opportunities. This hippo does not tolerate other competitors around him in the water, and defends its own territory vigorously. The mother duck becomes alert. These are 2 of Africa's most dangerous animals, and are both equipped with lethal bites. A competition for territory among the giants. But the crocodile knows, even with the strongest bite in the animal kingdom, he would struggle to penetrate this full-grown bulk's skin. His interest lies somewhere else. The little ducklings are not yet aware of the danger, while the mother sees the threat from far away, and starts calling loud and persistently to the appearance of the dangerous predator. Luckily for the mother, her ducklings quickly grasp the situation. Equipped with super senses, the crocodile smells his prey on land. Any individual would make a tasty meal. But he is being watched closely by the mother duck, and in the last moment, the crocodile turns away. No prey for him today. The exhausted elephant family has to take a break from their journey. The experienced mother knows instinctively that in times of heat, there is still something that can refresh them. A well-deserved sandbathing. This isn't just for fun though. To counteract the damaging rays of the sun, elephants throw sand on themselves, and their fractured skin helps to keep the dust from sliding off. An all-natural sunblock, which also protects them from parasites. While some animals depend on soil for protection, others use it for another purpose. This young giraffe samples low-growing young shrubs on the ground, but is not yet sure which shoots and leaves to eat. Observing his mother, the young giraffe then tries on her tree. He has decided rather to lick the soil, a valuable source of minerals. Giraffes can only keep their heads down for a very short period of time. Any longer would be extremely dangerous for these animals. This particular African soil is, however, special for another reason. It is home to a far more ancient animal species that has found a truly unique way to keep cool in hot environments. They are amongst the most brilliant architects in the world, and they are the only insect species that has managed to build homes with an air conditioning system without using electricity. Termites. Termites are the oldest known organized community on the planet, and their homes often shape the image of the landscapes, giving the African horizons their distinctive look. Only a small part of termite mounds can be seen above the Earth's surface. Most of the construction is hidden underground. Looking at the inside of their subterranean nests reveals an extensive system of tunnels where millions of termites work 24/7. Although temperatures rise and fall throughout the day and night, the inside of their building remains the same. This is for a very unexpected reason, and the secret lies in a peculiar fungus. There is a specialized group of termites cultivating the fungi that rots the wood they have been collecting into a more nutritious compost, which serves as the termites' actual food. In order for the fungus to grow, a constant temperature of around 30 degrees is needed. The tunnels inside and the tiny holes on the outside allow cool air to enter at night, permeate the entire structure, and expel heat throughout the day. A ventilation system that keeps the nest from overheating. This is an example of an evolutionary architectural masterpiece that has helped the species to survive for more than 250 million years on planet Earth. In the Albany thicket, rainfall can occur at any time of the year. and when it does arrive, the plants have to be ready to make the most of it. The cactus's root system close to the soil surface takes every advantage of the lightest rainfall. But the water droplets are quickly absorbed by the parched soil. The cacti will rapidly start to grow new rain roots to collect even the smallest droplets of water and to conserve it in its body. As the ground dries, the rain roots will be shed, so that the plant does not waste extra energy to maintain them. And the main roots will be sealed in preparation for the next drought. The elephant herd has finally reached the source. Joyfully they approach the water's edge, where they enjoy the well-deserved break. After this long day, their journey has come to an end. By using the evolutionary tools elephants have acquired over the course of history, they have been able to evolve over 50 million years. The pattern that Darwin saw was that the creatures that survived were those best adapted to their specific environments. But living in nature is always a struggle for existence. Natural selection is an arms race between species, and only those that can adapt will survive. Each animal and plant that is alive today has employed a multitude of evolutionary strategies that has allowed it to endure. Some species evolved traits that would help them handle extreme climates, whilst others found a way to exploit nutrients found in places that others couldn't reach. Others are brilliant killing machines, perfect for catching the available prey. And these are the traits that make each individual more fit and able to live long enough to reproduce and get passed down to the next generation. These unique physical features of all animals make them strong survivors. And this is what's called natural selection.